On this Greg's Garage, we head over to the famed Hatfield-McCoy Trail System in southern West Virginia to give you a more detailed look at one of the best off-road riding areas in the U.S.
All of the trail systems are similar in the fact that they're all open to easiest riders, more difficult riders, and most difficult riders. Basically something for everybody.
We take Kawasaki Z1000 Street Fighter out for a spin, get the scoop on the latest from Indian motorcycles, relive one of our most popular segments, show you some cool videos from the web, get you up on some motorcycle slang, and more. That's right now on Greg's Garage. Hello everyone and welcome to Greg's Garage, your favorite power sports lifestyle show. And if you're checking us out for the first time, this show is all about power sports, motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, watercraft, and hopefully this winter some snowmobile stuff. We have stories from all over the U.S. about people, places, and things that have to do with motorized fun. So today, we'll get you kicked off with one of the coolest places to ride or drive off-road. It's called Hatfield-McCoy Trail System, and it's just a slice of motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side heaven.
We're here at the Little Coal River Trailhead, which is one of 7 trail systems in the Hatfield-McCoy project, and we're riding the trails. We're in the Terexes, and we're riding the 750 brute force as well as the 300 brute force, and we're just out having a good time and visiting and seeing the trails.
The trail system is named after the folklore feud between two families, one from West Virginia, the Hatfields, and the other from Kentucky, the McCoys. The feud raged on from about 1863 until 1891-ish. Why name the trail system after the bitterly feuding rivals? Well, one of the original trails, Buffalo Mountain, runs right by one of the famous feud sites called Paw Paw. Not to mention the cachet value that comes with the name and its association with West Virginia. But regardless of that name, the idea for this system came along around 22 years ago.
So the trail system originally started as an idea back in '91 with a couple guys. One was a legislator in Charleston here in West Virginia, and one was a lawyer with the motorcycle industry. And they just had an idea of building this project in southern West Virginia that could, one, provide recreation for ATV, dirt bike, and side-by-side riders. Actually, at the time, they even thought it up as being for 4x4 riders, full-size trucks. And then it took 9 years to actually get the project off the ground. We opened our trail system in October of 2000, and here we are in 2013 running strong and getting ready to open our 8th trail system.
It's taken time to get things to where they are today, from the simple, humble beginnings of 13 years ago.
When we opened in October 2000, we started with 3 trail systems: Rock House, Bear Wallow, and Buffalo Mountain. Since then, we've got 7 trail systems in total, and we're getting ready to open our 8th. All of the trail systems are similar in the fact that they're all open to easiest riders, more difficult riders, and most difficult riders. Basically something for everybody. We even have single track trails. The one difference is with the new trail system that we're going to be opening July 2013 is that we're also going to be open with that particular trail system with the full-size trucks, which is going to be a new experience for us as well as for the riders. We're excited about it and looking forward to it. It's going to be an adventure for everyone involved.
With such a variety of terrain in Southwest Virginia, it's important to pick the right trail for your adventure.
For the rider that's never been to Hatfield-McCoy but is interested, where I recommend starting is with our website, with the internet. We've got a really good website. It goes into a lot of detail. If you're not that versed with the internet and you just want the old-fashioned way of doing it, you can call us. We have a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-592-2217. And you can call and request a brochure. We'll be happy to send it out to you. And it has more of a compact version, but also tells you about the trail system. We cover a large area, so we have soon to be 8 trail systems, and each of those trail systems have a little bit something different to offer. Like the Little Coal River Trail System that we're riding today is really more for the novice riders. The terrain here is a little more gradual and is better equipped for someone looking for a more scenic experience. We also have trail systems that we recommend more for the adventurous type, like Rock House or Bear Wallow, that have a little bit of something for everybody, but have many more of those difficult trails, the more technical trails that some people are looking for. Also, trails like Buffalo Mountain have a lot of single track trail. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Each of our trails has a little bit different personality. They each have their own name and identity, and it's just what you're interested in, where you're coming from, to provide you the best experience. But I really believe that each of our trail systems have a little something for everybody.
Next week, we'll have more details about the trail system and some impressions on the Coal River Trail that we were on. But now it's time to check out the news. What's going on in the world of power sports, you ask? Well, just a few days ago, Indian Motorcycles launched some new exciting products, 3 to be exact. They're all based around Indian's all-new Thunderstroke 111 power plant that delivers an impressive 119 foot-pounds of torque. Topping the list is a 2014 Classic. This new rig has your iconic elements for an Indian, like valance fenders, genuine leather, instrument on top of the teardrop tank, loads of chrome, and some 20th century technology like keyless starting, ABS, and cruise control, and it starts at $18,999. Next, the Vintage. Same features as the Classic, plus add natural tan leather in the saddle and saddle bag areas, a quick release windshield, which Indian says takes about 10 minutes without tools for removal and installation. That'll take you up 2 Gs to $20,999. And finally, the Chieftain. Slightly different steering geometry than the previous two. This is the first Indian motorcycle to feature hard fairing, hard saddlebags, and new comfort and convenience features. It has the same features as the other models, keyless starting, brake caliper covers, laced wheels, and so on. But add that fairing and hard bags, plus high output radio with integrated Bluetooth technology. How about that? And you have a very capable motorcycle. Starting at only $22,999, exciting new stuff from Indian. Now this was kind of cool. A new Monopoly game was introduced by Hasbro and featured in the all-new Empire board game is the Ducati Panigale. Cycle World posted a press release, so you can check it out at cycleworld.com, but it states, for the first time in history, Hasbro gathered 22 of the world's top brands to appear on the same Monopoly board game. Brands like Xbox, Coca-Cola, Beats by Dr. Dre, and of course, Ducati. This is something I definitely want to have for the garage, and you might want to have it too. And finally, if you're the investor type, Fox Factory Holding, the suspension maker, well, it's reported that the Scotts Valley, California-based company has announced its IPO offering. 8.6 million shares will be up for grabs at $13 to $15 a share. They'll be listed on NASDAQ. Fox produces shocks for ATVs, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, and snowmobiles. Okay, it's time to take a break from talking about motorcycles and going to ride one. The ins and outs of the 2013 Kawasaki Z1000. The maker put this ride in the sport category, but it's more of a naked street fighter kind of a thing. With a powerful 1043cc inline 4-cylinder, liquid-cooled, dual overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder workhorse under the hood, this is one fun beast. The petrol gets to the air pump via digital fuel injectors. It has a 6-speed transmission with a variety of gear selections. The frame is of the aluminum backbone type, so not a naked ZX-10R with a perimeter frame. Now, up front, controlling the springs, 41mm inverted forks with all kinds of adjustments. At the stem, a horizontal monoshock with rebound and preload adjustment. Doing the stopping, you have 300mm pedal-type rotors with twin radial mount 4-pot calipers and a single 250mm single piston on the back. The tank is 4 gallons with a claimed 41 miles per gallon, so you do the math on the fill-ups. The seat height is 32.1 inches off the ground and the overall length, 82.5 inches. Now, back to more riding. Well, that was a fun day of riding the Kawasaki Z1000, a pure street fighter. Let's take a look first at the chassis. Not as stiff as a sport bike and definitely not as soft as a cruiser. It's somewhere right in between, even though it has upside down forks and an offset rear shock. The actual frame itself works really well on the real tight stuff as well as in stop and go traffic. It handles the bumps with ease and it's fully adjustable, so even a big guy like me can dial in a couple settings and be completely happy with it. Moving on to ergonomics. A really well-designed motorcycle, even for a rider at my height, nearly 6'3". If you look at the handlebars, they're forward and they're up nice and high, but not too high, so you get a really good, comfortable riding position. And that relationship to the saddle, perfect for me. I can adjust my body forward or back depending on my fatigue position, and the way my feet sit on the pegs are great as well. I'm not cramped at all. All right, off to the power plant. Over 1,000 cc's, you can do a lot with electronics, the way you deliver the power. Well, Kawasaki did the right thing in where they put the power in the power band on this motorcycle because it's low and mid-range all day long and a tremendous amount of torque. So when you gas it at low RPM, it just lunges forward, gives you great control of the motorcycle. When I look at this bike, I'm thinking, I don't want to get on the road and go 8 hours on the highway at 70 miles an hour. This particular motorcycle, it beats you up. It's designed really to go down to the beach, cruise around, to have a lot of fun with your friends, to get off in the canyons and do some twisties, and ride for an hour, park it, chat with your buddies, have a lot of fun, get back on it, do another hour or two. It's so comfortable to ride, handles very well, it brakes really, really well, and gives you a lot of feel on the brakes, by the way. The only thing I really didn't get to test on the Z1000, having a passenger on the back. And with those pegs right there, I'm sure the passenger would enjoy it as well. So get down to your Kawasaki dealer and definitely check out the Z1000 because this is one of those do-all motorcycles that really has me excited. Big fun on that thing. Okay, now it's time for Worldwide Video. That part of the show where we show you highlights of cool things related to power sports. This documentary on a couple of guys riding from London to Sydney on KTM 690s is interesting and fun.
We would fly to Darwin, Australia and meet up with them in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately though, we had fallen behind schedule and we arrived in Darwin a month later than we had hoped. The deserts would be a challenge in the rising heat as the summer season approached. But the greatest challenge that immediately faced us was getting the bikes released from Darwin Port. Well, here we are in Darwin and we've been stuffed about good and proper by a government department called DAF. I don't know if the left hand, the right hand or the head or any legs know what they're doing. It really has been the worst experience we've had with the government department anywhere in the world. So here we are. Our bikes are in the shipping company there. They're all ready to go and we can't get them out until Monday. It really gives me the shits. But with sunshine like this, you can't keep the shits for too long. We were back on the road, heading for the deserts of Central Australia, and home was just 2 weeks away. But not before we had a swim at Litchfield National Park.
motorcycles and scooters are fun, right? Sure they are. But at a recent TED Med, Dr. Eli Beer explains how two wheels are used to save literally thousands and thousands of lives all over the world.
This is an ambucycle. This is the fastest way to reach any medical emergency. It has everything an ambulance has, except for a bed. See the defibrillator, you see the equipment. We all saw the tragedy that happened in Boston. When I was looking at these pictures, it brought me back many years to my past when I was a child. We're not there to replace ambulances. We're just there to get the gap between the ambulance call until they arrive. And we save people that otherwise would not be saved. The second reason are because of our technology. You know, Israelis are good in technology. Every one of us has on his phone, no matter what kind of phone, a GPS technology done by NowForce. And whenever a call comes in, the closest 5 volunteers get the call. And they actually get there really quick and navigated by a traffic navigator to get there and not waste time. And this is a great technology we use all over the country and reduce the response time. And the third thing are these ambucycles are an ambulance on 2 wheels. We don't transfer people, but we stabilize them and we save their lives. They never get stuck in traffic. They could even go on a sidewalk. They never literally get stuck in traffic. That's why we get there so fast. All I need is a partner who's a little mashugana like me, passionate about saving lives, and willing to do it. And I'm actually starting it in India very soon with a friend who I met in Harvard just a while back. Hatzalah actually started in Brooklyn by a Hasidic Jew years before us in Williamsburg. And now it's all over the Jewish community in New York, even Australia and Mexico and many other Jewish communities. But it could spread everywhere. It's very easy to adopt. You even saw these volunteers in New York saving lives in World Trade Center.
Now that nearly 13-minute video has some amazing stories, so go check it out on the show page. On to something a little bit more light, maybe lighthearted. ATVs that can roll underwater in big mud pits. Yup, it's impressive. Rip it up. Be okay. I'm not trying to go. Did you know that motorcycles can help protect the country? Well, kind of. The National Guard finds value in motorcycle racing by partnering with AMA Pro Racing, supporting the series and the Michael Jordan Motorsports race team. It's a great recruiting tool.
He is fun to watch. Start from the outside. Oh, big mistake. Take a look down for second.
What an epic battle.
Definitely an honor to ride for the National Guard, just because you get so many fans and so many supporters of all the men and women in the Army National Guard, and you know, I take a lot of pride in it because those men and women are, to me, they're the real heroes of of the world, just because they sacrifice so much to give us the freedom that to come race and do the things that we enjoy. And when disaster strikes, they're always there.
Special Forces recruiter for the Army National Guard. So my goal is to replace myself and find future Green Berets, future airborne soft supports personnel, and get them to go to airborne school or the Special Forces qualification course. Served all over the world, been to more countries than I can count, in Iraq and Afghanistan, recently. And one day I might be out jumping out of a plane, the next day I might be out diving, shooting guns, the next day blowing something up the next day. So pretty exciting career. As a Green Beret in the National Guard, you're going to get to a lot of foreign travel, a lot of great training, work with a lot of great folks, and you're going to have a great time. Great crowd. The National Guard's got a good bike out there, a couple of them actually, and doing well. And it's great to see the mixture of Guard personnel and the motorsports folks out there having a great time.
And if you haven't seen this yet, I was lucky enough to tag along with 4 Cycle World editors and AMA Pro racer Steve Rapp on a 6 motorcycle street shootout. Here are some of the highlights of that video.
Anyway, this shootout is not just about how good they are. It's as much about performance per dollar as it is about anything else. So we had to get moving. We only had 3 days to pick a winner. So it's out of Orange County, California, headed north to Gold Country. That's where we all get our turn on each motorcycle.
Well, in the past, we've really focused a lot of our sport bike shootouts with racetrack testing, and we decided to do something different this time and to do a pure street-based shootout. And the reason is that most of the people that buy these bikes, some of them do take them to track days, some people do race them, but the reality is that most people just go out and ride them on the street.
Kind of the fun thing about testing thing on the road is we got six bikes, we get 6 guys, and we just rotate through them every time we stop for gas, every time we stop to get a snack. Then everybody gets an equal amount of time on every bike, and it works out well.
The first test these bikes went through was the Super Slab. Hours and hours of Interstate 5 and 99. Probably out of those bikes on the freeway, we all like the CBRs. Once we got into the mountains, then it's just a good mix of tight low gear stuff, first, second gear, maybe touch third, a lot of hard acceleration. The bikes with the traction control, amazing. You can just paint it coming off the corner, get a little hook and a wheelie, and have a ton of fun without feeling like you're riding on the ragged edge. Then we've hit some faster flowing stuff. We've hit some super bumpy roads. It's kind of like the Monroe Shot test track.
Now, people have been requesting a couple of stories be revived. Even though you can find this feature in show number 1, it has had a resurgence of over 40,000 views recently. So for those that haven't seen it, once again, we bring you the story of a rear entry strapless helmet from Voztec.
Well, look, we've been developing a new helmet for about 9 years now, and Greg, and it's a rear access helmet. It's actually a helmet that opens from the rear. So instead of the normal flip-up helmet articulating from the jawline, we've actually put a hinge at the top so the helmet can open from the back. Now, what that's enabled us to do, because we're entering from the back, the helmet's not reliant on putting the helmet off and on this way. So if you look at the helmet at the bottom, we've got quite a small opening. Once the helmet's actually closed onto your head, it can't come off your head. So the fact that we've taken away the chin strap, which is normally on the helmet, and we've replaced it with a fully adjustable chin cup inside. So it's like a set and forget retention system. You set it to your jaw length. Once it's set, you never have to do it again.
How does this thing get on your head then?
Well, look, that's quite easy. We'll demonstrate that with John.
Applying the Voztec system is a really simple, easy process. You're able to apply the helmet either with gloves on or sunglasses on your head. Basically what you do is place the helmet on your head, pull both front latches, the helmet opens, it slides, you line it up to your chin cup, pull back the helmet and clip it on. The helmet is very clean from underneath, there's all the air to flow through. It's nicely contoured from the back. And to basically remove the helmet, you pull both latches, pop your chin out and roll the helmet straight off your head. And to show you how simple and easy and quick the process can be, watch me do it in seconds.
Well, look, of course, this technology suits a myriad of helmets, not just road. We've got, as you can see, we've got a prototype motocross helmet in here. We'll be doing snow sports helmets. We'll be doing water sports helmets. We'll be doing an NFL helmet. We'll be doing downhill BMX. So the system really works with any helmet that requires a chin bar. So if you've got a chin bar on the helmet, you can enter from the rear. You just go to www.voztec, V-O-Z-T-E-C, and you'll be able to see all the information on the helmet.
And one of the most confusing parts of getting into motorcycle riding is the difference of categories. When people ask me, what bike should I buy? I often ask, well, what kind of riding do you want to do? And then the deer in the headlights look. But today's reality is there are so many specific types of motorcycles made for specific types of riding. And not all manufacturers say the same thing. It can be confusing. So let's go over them, shall we? First, we have broad stroking categories of off-road and street. Let's look at off-road. These are vehicles that are not street legal. So you have motocross style, which is cutting-edge, high-performance motorcycle used for competition or for the moto style of riding. And then there's off-road motorcycles. These bikes are distinct from motocross by adding some stuff like push-button start, a headlight, wide ratio transmission for easier woods riding, stuff like that. Now to the street stuff. And as Robin Thicke says, this first category is blurred lines, dual sport adventure touring. Now dual sport can be a couple of things. It's a cross between an off-road bike and a street bike. Some can be more focused on the off-road part with longer suspension and wider bars and some other bits. Others can be more street focused with street tires and etc. Are you confused yet? Okay, so now on to cruisers. These bikes are made to cruise. Laid back riding position, torquey motors for easy riding, low ground clearance. Then there's touring. Now these bikes can be pulled from cruisers, adventure touring, but they'll have some amenities like bags on them to go touring with. You know, those nice long rides. And then you have something called a standard or naked bike. Now standard usually has a more upright riding position. It's simple, solid, good performance, great brakes, sometimes older, proven technology. Now sport bike motorcycles, they have the DNA of a racier super sport machine, but might not be as cutting edge. The riding position also might be a little more relaxed than a super sport. Higher bars, foot pegs are a bit lower and further forward, things like that. A more day-to-day commuter with an edge, if you will. And then you have super sport. These are the high end of handling, aggressive riding position. They're the platform for racing. This motorcycle can be a showcase of technology for many companies. Low bars, leaned over riding position, great brakes, great horsepower. So as you can see, you have a lot of choices. So before you ride, think about what type of riding you want to do. Now that's a lot of talking, even for me. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for checking us out. If you have any questions and you want to know what motorcycle to ride or anything about the show, then send me an email, show@gregsgaragetv.com. And don't forget to spread the word. The more views we get, the more shows we can bring you. Really, thanks so much for checking us out. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.